A Constituent Assembly is a special representative body of people elected or selected for the purpose of framing or rewriting a constitution. So, how did the idea of a Constituent Assembly emerge in India? Let us understand its journey step by step. The first demand can be traced back to 1895, when Bal Gangadhar Tilak proposed the idea through the Swaraj Bill. Later, in 1922, Mahatma Gandhi declared that the Constitution of India should be framed according to the wishes of the Indian people and not imposed by the British. In 1928, Motilal Nehru again raised the demand for a constitution prepared by Indians themselves. A major breakthrough came in 1934, when M.N. Roy formally proposed the idea of a Constituent Assembly. Because of this, Manabendra Nath Roy is often regarded as the first person to officially demand a Constituent Assembly. In 1939, Jawaharlal Nehru popularized this demand and made it a national issue through consistent political advocacy. Cabinet Mission Plan, 1946. To resolve India's constitutional and political problems, the British government sent the Cabinet Mission to India in 1946. At that time, the Prime Minister of Britain was Clement Attlee. The Cabinet Mission consisted of 3 members: Sir Stafford Cripps, A.V. Alexander, Lord Pethick Lawrence. These 3 members came to India and proposed a plan for the transfer of power to Indian leaders and the formation of a Constituent Assembly. Major proposals of the Cabinet Mission. India will be made a conglomerate, mixture, consisting of both British Indian provinces and princely states. There will be unity in India, hence the demand for Pakistan was rejected. A Constituent Assembly would be established through indirect elections. Composition of the Constituent Assembly. The Cabinet Mission decided that 1 representative would be elected for every 10 lakh people. The total strength of the Constituent Assembly would be 389 members. 292 members from British Indian provinces. 93 members from princely states. For members from Chief Commissioners' provinces. Elections of the Constituent Assembly. The elections were held in July 1946. Out of the 389 seats, elections were conducted for 296 seats. The remaining 93 seats from princely states were to be nominated. The election results were: Indian National Congress won 208 seats. Muslim League won 73 seats. Others won 15 seats. At this time, the Viceroy of India was Lord Wavell. Later, as mistrust between the 2 parties increased, the Muslim League, under the leadership of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, withdrew its acceptance of the Cabinet Mission Plan in July 1946 and decided to boycott the Constituent Assembly. To strengthen its demand for a separate nation, the Muslim League announced Direct Action Day on the 16th of August, 1946, which led to widespread communal riots, especially in Calcutta. Despite the boycott, the Constituent Assembly continued its work of framing the Constitution of India. Formation of the interim government. While the Constituent Assembly was being formed, an interim government was also established to handle the immediate, day-to-day administration of India, manage the transition, and maintain law and order while the constitutional process was ongoing. Declaration of Interim Government, the 24th of August, 1946. Formation of interim government, the 2nd of September, 1946. Initially, the Muslim League did not join the government. However, on the 26th of October, 1946, the Muslim League decided to participate in the interim government. First meeting of the Constituent Assembly, the 9th of December, 1946. Dr. Sakhidananda Sinha was appointed as the temporary chairman or temporary president of the Assembly. Second meeting, the 11th of December, 1946, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the permanent president of the Constituent Assembly. Dr. H.C. Mukherjee was elected as the vice president. Third meeting, the 13th of December, 1946, Jawaharlal Nehru introduced the famous Objectives Resolution. Later, many principles of the Objectives Resolution became the foundation of the preamble of the Indian Constitution. B. N. Rao was made the legal advisor of the Constitution of India. On February 20, 1947, British Prime Minister Clement Attlee announced that the British government would grant full self-government to British India by June 1948 at the latest. To oversee this process, Lord Louis Mountbatten arrived in India on the 24th of March, 1947 as the last Viceroy of India. To resolve the tension between Indian National Congress and Muslim League, Mountbatten prepared several proposals. One of the early proposals was the Dickey-Bird Plan, which suggested transferring power separately to provinces. However, this proposal was rejected because it could have led to the fragmentation of India into many independent units. Finally, on the 3rd of June, 1947, Lord Mountbatten announced the famous Mountbatten Plan, also known as the 3rd of June Plan, that British India would be partitioned into two independent dominions, India and Pakistan. The Mountbatten Plan ultimately became the basis of the Indian Independence Act, 1947, passed by the British Parliament. Indian Independence Act, 1947. On the 4th of July, 1947, a bill was introduced in the British Parliament. It was passed on the 18th of July, 1947 as the Indian Independence Act, 1947. Main provisions. From the 15th of August, 1947, two independent dominions would be created: India and Pakistan. Both countries would have separate Governor-Generals and Constituent Assemblies. For India, the Governor-General was Lord Mountbatten and the Prime Minister was Jawaharlal Nehru. For Pakistan, the Governor-General was Muhammad Ali Jinnah and the Prime Minister was Liaquat Ali Khan. Both nations would have separate constituent assemblies. The membership of Constituent Assembly was distributed. India was allocated 299 members, while Pakistan was allocated 90 members. These 299 members continued the task of framing the Constitution of India. Princely states would be granted the right to choose whether to include themselves in India or in Pakistan. A border commission would be established under the chairmanship of Sir Radcliffe. Both nations were permitted to separate from the membership of the Commonwealth. In the next video, we will discuss the making of the Constitution, its important committees, the drafting committee, and the role of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in framing the Constitution of India.